In this video, I'll teach you how to crochet an oval crochet piece from a foundation chain that will also be the muzzle of our beautiful pig, and also how to crochet the arms of this amigurumi. If you're new here in the channel, I am Bianca from Crocheting, and this tutorial is part of a series of videos here in the channel called Amigurumi Academy, in which I teach you all the basics from the moment you grab your crochet hook for the first time until you have the final amigurumi like this cute one here. In this series of videos, you learn how to crochet the head, body, feet, this cute tail here, all the accessories, including some special techniques on how to sew all the parts of the amigurumi, how to make the embroidery, and even how to make these cute glasses here. So if I were you, I wouldn't miss any of these tutorials. So just come with me and let's get it started.
Now we'll learn how to make the muzzle of the amigurumi. And to do the muzzle, we won't make a magic circle. Now, for the first time, we will learn how to crochet around chains. And this is very easy, but it's very important in amigurumis also. Most of the times our amigurumis start with the magic circle, the way we did with the head, the ears, and the body. But sometimes a pattern requires to start with the chains. And how do we do that? We tie a slip knot like this. Okay, first of all, the slip knot. You adjust this loop in the crochet hook and now we will make the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this is how we work with chains. And to make an amigurumi like a 3D figure, like this one, with the chains, we have to work around the chains. Usually, when we crochet chains, it's for a flat crochet piece. But since we are making amigurumis, the way that we can make this chains become a 3D piece is working around the chains. It means that you will work in this side of the chains and then we will turn like this to work in this side of the chains here. Okay? Theoretically speaking, it's difficult, but when we practice, it's way easier. So we always start from the second chain. We always start in the second chain from the hook. So my hook is here. The first chain is this one. The second is this one. We always start here. And we make a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round, okay? We always work in these loops here. For this muzzle, I am crocheting the easiest way because I'm assuming this is your first time crocheting this type of thing. But if you already know how to work around chains and you want a bit more advanced technique, I will leave a video in the description, a link for another video, and you can learn the technique that I like to do the most. But it's a bit more advanced. And this video is for beginners, and that's why I am teaching you this way, okay? So this is the second, single crochet, and the third single crochet. You see that we have here 1, 2, 3 single crochets, and there is a chain here. We still have a loop to work. In this loop, we will make 5 single crochets inside the same loop, okay? Believe me, it's going to work. So I will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot, I know, but it works. So we have 5 single crochets in the same chain, okay? And you see what we did? We were working in this side, and after we did 5 single crochets, we created a curve. So now we will continue working on this side, and it will be an oval shape. You see that we still have a few loops here to work. We have this loop, we have this loop, we have this loop. This is where we are going to work from now on. So in this loop here, we make 1 single crochet, in the following loop another single crochet, and in this loop here, that is the last one, we will make 5 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me leave the crochet hook aside and let's observe what we created here. You see that we did a perfect oval shape. I really love it. So we created a perfect oval shape in our piece with our amigurumi, and this is the foundation for the muzzle. This is the foundation for the muzzle of the pig that is going to be here. Okay, so when we work like this, with this technique that I taught you, it's completely normal to have these tiny gaps between stitches. But this is the easiest way. So my advice for you is, if you're new to the technique, you have never worked around chains before, practice this technique first. And when you master it, you can go to the other technique of the video that I told you before. So you can learn how to crochet the oval shape and avoid these gaps, okay? But if it's your first time, don't be that picky, don't be so perfectionist, because you are still learning. It's part of the process, and believe me, it will get easier after you crochet a couple of amigurumis, okay? So let's move on to, this is the first round, okay? Just to sum up here the explanation, we started with the chains, and it doesn't count as a round. So we did the chains and we worked around the chains. Let's count the stitches now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 single crochets in this oval shape here. And this is our round number 1, okay? So now on round number 2, remember that this is the first stitch of the round. We will make the first stitch here on top of this one, insert the crochet hook here, the same way that we work with the magic ring, okay? And mark with the stitch marker. And the second round of the muzzle, we just have to repeat the sequence, okay? So we have 15 single crochets in round 1, we repeat 15 single crochets in round number 2. Since it's a very small piece, I will crochet it with you. And the last one. Okay, so I finished. You can correct the crochet piece like this because it was bending a little bit. This is our round number 2. You can remove the stitch marker. And as simple as that, this is the muzzle. Look how cute it's going to be. We are still going to learn all the other details. We still have to do the legs and the arms of our pig, and then we will embroider the face and add some special cute details to make it even prettier. But for now, that's it. Let's cut this remaining thread to sew, because as I said, there will be a couple of techniques to sew. Pull the thread. I never leave a crochet piece like this because if we pull it here, we will lose the stitch. Always like this. And that's it. Now we already have the muzzle of our cute pig, and let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, so I have a box of pins here, and don't worry because in the next classes when I am going to teach you how to sew all parts of amigurumi together and the different techniques, I will talk about pins because this will be a very interesting lesson. I am pretty sure there are a couple of things I want to teach you and explain about different pins and different pin sizes. But for now, you can see that we already crocheted the head, the muzzle, the ears, the body. And now I will crochet the legs and the arms of the pig with you. And then we have the tail, which is the last part that we are going to crochet together. Okay, so let's get it started. And we will start with the arms, okay? Let me leave this amigurumi aside. And for the arms, we will start with 6 single crochets in the magic ring. So we make 6 single crochets inside the magic ring. I closed my magic ring here. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, pull the thread, and this is our round number 1. Round number 2, oh, I think I pulled the yarn from the outside, which is something I never recommend doing, but the yarn label escaped. That's why the yarn is rolling. I always talk about this issue here in the channel because this is something that I don't like. I always prefer to pull the yarn from the inside so it doesn't happen. But okay, this is our round number 1. I have 6 single crochets, and now for round number 2, we make 6 increases. So this is our first stitch, and I'll make 1, the second one in the same gap, over the same stitch, mark the first one with the stitch marker, and now we have to do 5 more increases. I'm so sorry if my camera sometimes doesn't focus that much. Second, this is the third increase, fourth increase, fifth increase, and the last one. And now on round number 2, we have 12 single crochets. It opened the magic ring a little bit. You can see that. Just pull the thread a bit harder and you close this gap. Okay, so this is our round number 2 and we have 12 single crochets. So now we insert the crochet hook here in the following stitch, and as always, mark with the stitch marker. And from round 3 to round 9, we will just repeat the sequence, okay? We will make 12 single crochets in each round. So you crochet 1 single crochet above the other from round 3 to round 9. And this is the sequence that you have to do for the arms. It's very simple and very easy. But before I continue crocheting here, there are a couple of things, a couple of tips that I want to share with you. The first thing is sometimes you might get confused which part is the right and which part is the wrong, wrong side of the crochet piece. So a good way for you to locate yourself in the beginning is the side that you have the remaining thread from the magic ring is the side that should be the inner part of the amigurumi. So if here you don't have any thread, this is the part that we will see. Like this here. This is the part that we see the amigurumi. Even if we open, because I didn't stuff anything besides the head, of course. I have everything pinned. You see that there is a remaining thread here inside. You can see the remaining thread there. This is from the magic ring. You can see that here we don't see any thread. So this is the right side. And if you see the thread inside, this is the not wrong side, but this part should be inside the amigurumi. And I say that this is not wrong because there are some crocheters, some designers who like to work with the opposite side. And this is not wrong, this is just their preference. But let me tell you that doing this is way easier than working with this opposite side here. So this was my first tip. And the second thing that I have to share with you before we keep crocheting is, in a small piece like that, you see that it starts to bend to the opposite side. And that's why I started talking about the right or wrong side. We are doing continuous rounds with a very small amount of stitches, like 12 is a very small number. And when we do that, the crochet piece has a tendency to start bending to the opposite side that we want. We see that it starts growing. We start growing our crochet piece, but it's bending to the opposite side. And what we have here is the wrong side showing off. We can see because we have the remaining thread from the magic ring. So when you do that, in your third or fourth round of continuous rounds, that you see that it starts to bend to the wrong side, you stop, leave the crochet hook aside, and simply correct it. You bend it to the correct side, and the remaining thread is here. I usually don't cut this remaining thread, simply because you are still going to stuff in the future. This is point number one, so it doesn't matter if you have this thread here or not. If it bothers you when you're crocheting and you get confused with this thread, you can cut it. But I also think that if you're a beginner, it's good to have it here, because then you can always know which side is the right one and which side is the wrong one. And that's it. These are the two tips that I wanted to share with you. With the arms, I will just keep crocheting, and you have to crochet until round number 9, 12 single crochets. And I will keep doing it now, and I will come back when I finish. So I finished crocheting the arms, and let's count the amount of rounds together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we have 12 single crochets here. Now, this is the only parts that I'm going to stuff with you. The other parts we are going to stuff when we start to sew them. But the arms, we are going to close it. So that's why we need to stuff it. I don't want to stuff it that much, and stuffing is something that, well, as many other things in life, and especially in the crochet world and amigurumis, because this is our focus, it demands practice. We don't want to overstuff and have it bloated, but we don't want it empty like this and flat either. So we need to find a balance between empty and stuffing it too much. And how do we do that? I like to stuff with tweezers, This is something that we all have at home. It's a simple accessory. And I like these sharp ones because it's usually better to stuff, but you can use whatever you have at home. But I usually use the tweezers when I have small amigurumi parts like the arms here. Usually for the head or the body that are a bit bigger, I don't even need the tweezers. So when you take a bowl of stuffing, and let me take a bigger one here, the biggest mistake that beginners commit is like try to stuff a big bowl randomly in the amigurumi like this. What we have to do is split, like divide this stuffing in smaller parts like this and make a small ball. You can do this. Honestly, this is still a bit bigger for the amigurumi, as you can see. So I have to divide it one more time with the tweezers, and this is a technique that I developed myself. I have never seen anyone doing it. I'm not saying that I discovered the rock here. I'm just saying that this is something that I have never seen anyone doing, and it helps a lot in small amigurumi pieces like that. I like to wrap the stuffing like this around the tweezers, and I insert it because it's easier to insert the stuffing, you see? So lots of people use tweezers and it's really helpful, but using this technique like wrapping, it's really nice, really helpful and easy to do. So after you insert the stuffing, you start adjusting it with the help of the tweezers, and that's why I like these sharp ones so much. You see that I don't have stuffing like here in the surface of the arms. Let me try to show you. In this case, if I do this, it would be bloated. You see that it doesn't even fit. So I'll just remove it. And for this amigurumi, I strongly recommend you stuff it until the middle. So we have 9 rounds, stuff it until the 4th or 5th round. This is not a rule, but it's better because then when we sew, we will close it, and when we sew it to the body, it will look like this. It's way better. So you have stuffing here in the tip of the arms, and here it will look very, very beautiful and easier to sew. Okay? So stuff it until the middle part of the arms. And now we will close this amigurumi. We will leave half of it empty, okay? Insert the crochet hook here in the following stitch, and you will pass the crochet hook to the other side. So what we will do, we will crochet both parts together. We have 12 single crochets, right? When we fold it in half, we will pass the crochet hook from one side, like to the other side, and crochet both parts together and close this crochet piece. To do this, we insert the crochet hook here in the following stitch. And of course, you cannot enter the crochet hook here because you skipped like half of the stitches in the round. You have to insert the crochet hook in the first stitch here that you have. Wrap the yarn and you do 1 single crochet, the same way that you already learned how to do. Insert the crochet hook here, pass it to the other side, and make 1 single crochet. I will do it with you, okay? Insert in the following stitch, pass it through the crochet piece to the other side. You see that we did 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. I'll do it once again with you because I haven't finished the other arm, so I wanted to explain it very carefully. So we have 12 single crochets here. when we fold it in half, half of 12 is 6. So it means that we have to crochet 6 single crochets closing this amigurumi part. So I will do it again with you. Insert the crochet hook in the following stitch, pass it to the other side like this. I think this is very clear. Wrap the yarn and make 1 single crochet. You see that I have 1 V here and 1 V here. You always pass the crochet hook through both loops. 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can pull the thread. This one I had already cut, but here I haven't. So let me cut a long piece of thread. Remember, always cut a long piece of thread to sew. It will make your lives way easier. Pull the thread like this so it doesn't escape. And that's it. We crocheted the arms. If you want, you can pin it. Oh my god, it's getting so cute! I'm really excited with this project, and I hope you are as excited as I am to finish this cute pig. Let me put another pin here. I love working with pins because we can have an idea of how the amigurumi is getting. And that's it. Now that you already have the muzzle and the arms, let's continue crocheting all the other parts of this amigurumi together.